Hi everybody and welcome back to another Legends of Runeterra video. So we got even more cards revealed. This is featuring the new keyword Fury, which Mega Magwai revealed in his video with his celestial unit. Fury is when I kill a unit, you grant me +1/+1. So Fury has some interesting implications. Fury seems like it would work better with early game champions who are able to get this Fury off reliably and be able to buff themselves up. It kind of acts as a little bit of a buffer heal sort of thing, and it seems like it could work well with Demacia because of all of their kind of combat tricks that allow them to kill more units. So things like Judgment, single combat, barriers, and yeah, just things like that get you more kills and will buff up your units. So Fury seems like it would synergize well with Demacia. Alright, so the first card we have here, Herald of the Dragons. Dragon allies cost 1 less, so depending on how many dragons you have in your deck, this could be a good card. So this is only going to be included in dragon decks. You would never put it into any other deck. It's a 2-drop plus 1 or 1/1. So the reliability of this card is, I don't know. So you're going to be able to like put spell shields on this in order to protect it, but since it's only got 1 health, it's really easy to take out. I don't know if this is going to be super efficient. It's a 2-cost card, so yeah, I don't know. There's probably not going to be any 1-cost dragons released, at least in this expansion, and so you're not going to get 0-cost dragons. Is it going to be worth putting this card down? You're going to have to invest a little bit to protect it. I don't know that this is going to be included in decks, even if you do have dragons. I just don't think it's possible to protect the stat line here. They're probably going to have to buff this card. I imagine they're going to buff it, especially if you want to include dragons in your deck. This card, I just don't see it being a viable option. Too hard to protect. If you do end up protecting it with Bastion or other spell shield options, you are just wasting mana that could be used to get dragons down. So overall, I don't know that this card is going to be worth including into a deck. Alright, let's look at the next card here. Probably going to be dragons. Yep, a dragon. We have the little keyword here at the top of the card. White Flame Protector with Fury 4/4. Kind of vanilla for a 4-drop. Think of it as pre-nerfed the Badger Bear, except for the Badger Bear was 3, so that kind of gives you a kind of comparison, a 3 mana instead of 4, so this is a 4 mana 4/4 with Fury, so you're gaining more stats if you kill units. It doesn't have regeneration, doesn't have overwhelm or any ability like that in order to finish off games. This is a mid-range card, and dragons are kind of able to be fit into mid-range decks with Demacia. I think that's kind of the way they're going to have to be played. Because you get no value really out of their Fury if you can't protect their health. They're subject to removal. This one doesn't have spell shield either, so it's not like protecting itself from spells or removal. Yeah, just mid-range card, kind of vanilla stat line, and you're just forced to build around units that have Fury in a way that will allow them to survive and get their abilities off. We've talked about this before. It's really not an efficient way to build decks. Alright, this 5-cost dragon, 5/5. This one does have spell shield, and it's also got Fury. Looks like all dragons are going to have Fury, or a lot of them are. This is a pretty cool card. I like how it looks, but it's really just kind of another white spine, whatever this is here. I already forgot its name. White Flame Protector. You get additional health and attack stat and spell shield for 5 mana. The curve is really nice with those 2 cards, so you're going to be able to play them on curve. Again, this is just kind of directing and funneling these dragons toward the mid-range Demacia deck, potentially with someone like Cithria the Bold, or Elmheart, whatever her name is, Genevieve Elmheart. Alright, this 5th dragon, or the 3rd dragon we have here, is another 5-drop Screeching Dragon, so he's screaming. This is a Demacia card, keep that in mind. Shyvana is going to be released at some point. We're going to get more dragons most likely from Demacia in the future. This is the only Demacia card that has been revealed in this expansion, both for units and for spells. The only one. This one has Challenger and Fury as well. So I like the Challenger ability with these dragons just a little bit better because we can choose which units we are using to attack into, allowing this dragon to get like more easily buffed, I suppose. If you're only attacking with like 1 attack power units, you're able to preserve the health. And I imagine that the stat gain with Fury is instantaneous, which is cool. So that's really cool with combat tricks like single combat, because you can potentially, protect it if it's being targeted by a 1 mana spell, as well as get rid of the unit. So I don't know. Just keep that in mind. Judgment as well. Dragons geared toward mid range, as I said, is what it's looking like. Alright, if this goes, always have problems with this Twitter. Alright, the last card here, Dragon's Clutch. Burst speed, 3 mana spell. Draw 2 different dragons or grant dragon allies +1/+1. So this is only going to ever be included into a dragon deck where you've got dragons in your deck, because you're drawing them. You're not creating them, you're drawing dragons. And so you need to make sure you've got a plethora of dragons to choose from in the deck so that this card is worthwhile to put in the deck. Then, if you don't draw cards, you can choose to grant all dragon allies +1/+1. So this could potentially be a good late game burst speed spell. Kind of imagine it kind of as a buffed up Vision. Vision grants you +1 when you discard it. This one grants +1/+1 when you play it. It's also 3 mana. You can't discard it, but I mean it's kind of the same. And then, yeah, it's a tutor for other dragons in the deck. So, I mean, there are other cards with Aurelion Sol. What was the one called? If you attack and kill the unit. Or was it kill a unit or just attack? I think it was kill a unit. You create a dragon card in hand. So there's potential to get a lot of dragons down. And where this one's also drawing you dragons, you can get a lot of dragons onto the field. Unfortunately, there aren't a lot of dragons that are cheap. And so you can't play a huge number of dragons in a turn. You have to preserve them. They have to be alive on your decks or on your side of the board. So I don't know how efficient this card is going to be. I could be completely wrong. I just don't think dragons is going to exist in this meta as a solid archetype on their own. They're going to be included with things like Aurelion Sol. Yeah, dragons, they're okay. I think there's better ways to build mid-range decks that are more reliable and have better curve options early game, and that allow you to get more units down. Because it kind of seems like this is a confused archetype, because it wants you to have this card in so you can buff them up. You've got to protect them though, and then they cost a lot, so it's hard to get them onto the field and then have them survive long enough for you to be able to get a lot of value out of this card. Overall, yeah, there are other mid-range options that are better. It's another way to play it, and I kind of like that they're incorporating Demacia, and that hopefully when we get Shyvana out, there will be more cards from Demacia, more dragon cards that are cheaper, that will actually allow this dragon archetype to thrive. That would be really cool, because a lot of people like dragons, let's be honest. A lot of people are excited about dragons, and they really like the theme of them. I just don't think we're quite there with them yet, and we'll have to wait for Demacia before we get a really good dragon deck. That's my prediction. I could be wrong about that, but that's what I think. Alright, so if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Hopefully we get more cards revealed. We're probably about done. We're winding down. A potential card that we haven't had released yet, which I think they will, is a Poro. We haven't had a Poro yet from Targon revealed, unless I'm wrong, but come on. We got to get the Poro. We need more Poro synergy, right? Alright, so anyway, like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.